Alright guys, so this is just a quick lesson telling you basically how to complete these assignments. You should have a topic in your Google Classroom titled Week 5 Writing Our Personal Essay. Okay, you're going to start with the personal essay outline. I am going to have these numbered step 1, step 2, but start with the outline. When you open the outline, okay, it should look like this. What I recommend is probably chunking this at different times of your day. If you look at this, it's kind of overwhelming. But do a section at a time. So you have a green section, which is your introduction. You have a yellow section. You have a yellow section, which is basically your body of your essay, which is the bulk of your essay. And then you have this red part, which is the conclusion of your essay. So our essay is technically only going to be 3 paragraphs. It is not a 5-paragraph essay, but you're going to follow the instructions. And the instructions say, fill out this essay outline below, responding to the prompt. Explain a time you overcame a challenge in your life. Be sure to use your essay brainstorm and your own words. So what will help is you should have already completed your essay brainstorm, and I should have pulled it up beforehand, but let me go pull that up real quick. Sorry, I've got a lot of stuff in my Google. So here's my essay brainstorm that I showed you guys in the previous video. So my essay brainstorm has my thesis, which is basically just a summary in one sentence what my essay is going to be about. It has my 3 details. There we go. So already you have a lot of the work of this outline completed. It's just a matter of plugging it in and then adding stuff to it. So already I'm looking and it says hook sentence. Write a sentence that draws the reader in. This can be a quote, a definition, or a fact that introduces your essay. So when I'm thinking about a hook sentence, I really like using quotes. You guys don't have to use quotes, but as you've probably already noticed, I love quotes. So I'm just going to type in here in Google quotes about overcoming challenges. And I might take a second and read through some of these and see if I can find a quote that I feel really talks about like my personal essay and what I'm going to be talking about. So if I'm looking, and let's see, you might just scroll a little bit because some of these articles are going to be long. I like this one already. The greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it, by Moliere. Let me see. Only one who conquers a sea chase from the ocean, the broken heart, you think you will die, but you will be. So you can read through and really find one that you feel you connect with and will go with your essay. I kind of like that one. We must embrace pain and burn it as fuel for our journey. I like this one. I'm going to go with this one. The most beautiful people I've known are those who have known trials, have known struggles, have known loss, and have found their way out of the depths. That's a good one. Actually, I'm going to go use that first one that I saw by Moliere. The greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it. So I'm just going to copy. And since this is an outline, we don't have to flush it out yet. You just copy, copy and paste, boom. So I have a hook sentence, and I'm just gonna kind of rearrange it a little bit and say Moliere once said, the greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it. Okay, and then you plug in your thesis statement, which you should have already completed. It should be in your brainstorm. So I go to my brainstorm and I'm just gonna copy and paste this. So copy, paste, bada boom. I already have my intro done. because this isn't our full essay. This is just the outline. Our outline doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to like really flow. We're just getting our sentences out in an organized manner on paper. That's all we're doing. So then you have this topic sentence. Topic sentence wants you to introduce what this paragraph is going to be about. This, again, doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be fleshed out. So my topic sentence, if I go back to my brainstorm, I'm going to be talking about my struggles. And so I'm just going to say, there were many struggles I faced before, after, and during my diagnosis, even leading up to today. So as you guys know, my essay is a time I overcame a challenge in my life is when I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at the age of 15. So my whole body paragraph is going to be talking about the struggles I faced before, after, and during my diagnosis, even leading up to today. So you see where it says detail number 1, it says pull from brainstorm and write it in a complete sentence. So I already wrote most of mine in complete sentences, so all I have to do is copy and paste. If you didn't, that's okay. I highly recommend putting in that effort now because it'll make your essay writing a lot easier. But if you're just trying to throw ideas down, that also is okay. So I'm just going to move and copy and paste all of my details here. Again, this is like, it's kind of the nice part. That's why we break down our writing, because it makes it a lot easier in the long run. So there's my detail number 2, and then my third detail. Boom. So I have my 3 details already in there. All you're doing from this point is explaining in further detail your detail. So what I want you to pay attention to is I want you to show the reader what was going on or how you felt. Don't just tell them. So show them. What I mean by that is instead of saying, you know, I felt scared, you can say, it felt like I was in a constant nightmare that I could never wake up from, right? So instead of saying, you know, I felt scared, which might be an explanation of I was sick for 3 months, no one knew, and I still tried to play sports, I could say I felt scared and sick. But that doesn't really tell the reader, you know, really what you were going through. So instead, I might say something like, it felt like I was constantly trying to find my old body again. This made me more tired and more sick and more afraid I wouldn't get better. Okay? So I was sick for 3 months, no one knew, and I still tried to play sports. It felt like I was constantly trying to find my old body again. This made me more tired and more sick and more afraid I wouldn't get better. And I might actually add, something felt really wrong. Okay? So again, my explanation, I could have said I felt scared and sick. All right? That's a weenie sentence. That's a McDonald's sentence. I'm going to say that a lot. McDonald's, it's good, but you know, we really want steak. We really want some potatoes. We really want that hearty meal. So we want a hearty sentence. This is a hearty sentence. It gives me a lot more than this sentence does. Okay? We don't want McDonald's sentences. We want steak sentences. So, as you're going through, be keeping that in mind. Okay? Because those weak sentences that's not good writing. So you're going to go through, you're going to keep explaining your essay. I'm not going to do it just for time's sake. Then you get to this end and it says concluding sentence. Summarize everything you said in this paragraph and add a realization. A realization is basically just like, after explaining all of this, what do you feel you have come to understand? Because writing is also kind of therapeutic. Writing helps you understand your experiences or helps you understand your thoughts and opinions. So my concluding sentence might look like, all of those struggles I have faced and continue to face make me who I am today. All right, so my concluding sentence, I talked about, my struggles, because this whole paragraph is about my struggles with type 1 diabetes. And so in my concluding sentence, I talked about my struggles again, but then I added this realization that I have, and my realization is that all these struggles, though, have made me the person that I am. Right? So your concluding sentence doesn't have to be anything more than just a summary of what you talked about, and then one little thought that you had about all the things that you've just written about. So then you get to your conclusion, and your conclusion is way simpler than some people explain it. All you do is you restate your thesis, but instead of saying it like word for word, as I set it up here, a time I overcame a challenge in my life is when I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at the age of 15. You just word it a little bit different. So I'm going to say, being diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at the age of 15 being diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at age 15 pushed me to learn how to overcome an extreme challenge in my life. So again, I resaid my thesis, which is just up here, just in different words, so it makes sense. So I said, being diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at the age of 15 pushed me to learn how to overcome an extreme challenge in my life. Very similar, but it's not the same, right? Because concluding sentence, you want to start pulling all of your thoughts and tie it up with a nice little bow. So again, you summarize your 3 details, but also in different words or phrasing. So I'm going to say, again, all of the struggles. Nope, I'm not going to say all the struggles because I just said that in my concluding sentence. So I'll actually go look at my details. Being sick for 3 months, losing weight. Being sick for 3 months, losing a lot of weight, and what else was my third detail? My third detail is my sister eventually figured it out. Finding out I had a chronic illness was incredibly difficult and I'll just end it there. So what I did was I restated my 3 details, which my 3 details were: I was sick for 3 months, I lost a lot of weight, my sister eventually found out, and then I was diagnosed. So I just restated that, being sick for 3 months, losing a lot of weight, and finding out I had a chronic illness was incredibly difficult. And then your last part of your conclusion is any final remarks or thoughts about this entire thing. So normally when we're reading, I always tell you guys to be thinking about, what is the author's purpose? Why do you think the author chose this? Why do you think the author is and we even, we preview the author. What is the author's thought? So in your writing, when you're writing, you want in this last sentence to explain to the reader why you wrote this. What is this personal essay about? So what is the final message that you want your reader to walk away with? And the final message I want my reader to walk away with is, no matter what life